on there now. So that's the pre-stream on there now. I don't know while that's, if I just leave that for a couple of minutes, does people want to try and send the link out for that one, just so the link actually works?
Yeah, can you guys start sending the link? I can't really do it at the moment.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind, but earlier on, Stan Bentley there did the
Only you would do the wrong link.
Yeah, that's my fault, and I changed everything.
Yeah, I know.
After I set up everything, so that's my fault. Yeah. Well, hopefully this actually runs a lot smoother than.
See that?
What's that?
Put the link in, that's what I'm getting.
Nothing.
Fuck.
This is probably the first time I've ever had Skype on and it hasn't cut me off.
Yeah. As long as you can see the logo, that's the one that we need.
Copy and paste that link everywhere.
Right. People's finding it. Dale's just come on. He's found it. Yeah, I put the link on, but it's.
It needs to be put on MTFU.
I put the link on, but if it's worked, I don't know. Right.
Bloody early with that quadcopter video.
Yeah.
You can turn the sound down when you into the edit software. For it to be proper edit.
No, I couldn't be asked.
Okay.
Fair play, at least it's honest.
Cool.
Oh, apparently someone can hear us speaking. I don't know how. Because everything's muted.
There's a live version then.
That shouldn't happen.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
live.
the logo's live, but they shouldn't hear us, because I've got everything muted.
Yeah, I can listen. I'm listening to it now and I can hear us.
Alright. Get going then.
Yeah, right. What I'll do, I'll put the I'll just mute mine, and then could you not hear anyone else's? Right.
See, we should have had a case of Pop-Tarts to go live with.
And welcome to MTFU Tuesdays. This is episode number 5. Today, it's basically all about tools and maintenance. So, what I'll do, obviously, I'm LG4 Outdoors. Obviously part of the MTFU. We'll start going round. Introduce everyone.
I'm Bruce, well, Ginger Bruce, this is my channel name, and we've also got another 3 panel members, and I'll pass you on to them.
This is Mark from Woodcraft and Survival. YouTube channel. And there's Mark called up from WhatsApp and Facebook.
Is it my turn?
Yeah, go for it.
I'm Carl Hall from Map 5. My name's John. And yeah, hey everybody.
Name's me, I suppose. Anthony, also known as Sam, Mansfield TV. Not a bushcrafter, I'm just a dickhead with a knife.
British Crocodile Dundee.
G'day, mate.
Who wants to kick us off?
I think we should start with Bruce.
Yeah, let's all pick on Bruce.
Right,
Go on, Bruce.
we got a quiz coming up. Now I can't see my own camera. Hang on a second.
No one told me there was a quiz. I didn't prepare.
Right, you see those 5 knives?
Move them up a bit, Bruce. There we go. Yep.
What's the first one?
That's convex,
Convex, yeah. Next one?
concave,
Pointer.
Point. Hologram. What's this one? Easiest?
Candy.
What's that?
full flat.
Yeah. And that one?
What's it called it? Yeah, bevel grind.
It's secondary bevel.
There's loads of different names.
Oh, secondary grind, isn't it? Just goes.
Yeah, secondary grinds, sword grinds, sabre grinds. Yeah, all sorts of different. So yeah. Anyway, but obviously each one has different use and different different way of sharpening. Whereas obviously if you put that on a flat stone, you're not going to get past the tip. So as you sharpen, you need to roll it.
Right, hang on a minute, guys. I've just had a message off Shane. He can't hear anyone but me.
Well, that's not very good, is it?
No. What the hell is going on? Because this is...
Can't get you guys. Good evening, folks.
Yeah, Bashad Wells said the same thing.
It is really low volume, like.
I have to refresh, see if that works. I don't know. I have to refresh the browser.
Ah, fuck.
I doubt it's them.
No, it's us. With me. I don't know what's happened.
One of those things, it's impossible to test it.
I know, and
All of this was working though. I don't get why it's...
Yeah, I've just checked. I can hear us, but the volume is extremely low.
I can't hear you. I can't. On my computer, up on the computer, on the drive track, and it's not moving at all. Not doing anything.
Right, I'm just quickly trying to figure out what's going on.
See, I'm watching it on my computer, and it looks alright to me. Like the volume's back fine.
The volume's back fine.
It seems alright to me.
Right. Is anyone in the side chat in here? Obviously it's going to be a couple of... Do you want to speak and try and... Do you on the panel want to start talking just to see if they can hear you?
I don't know. So yeah, anyways, I'll just ramble on. I've always been scared to use my axe as a hammer, strictly because I've always been worried that I'm going to take an ear off. You know, because obviously you're using an axe as a hammer, and you're using the back of the axe, so therefore the blade is coming up as you're thrusting down. So yeah, it's a good way to remove an ear, I've always thought. So if I need a hammer or some sort of thing, I normally just use a brick from around my campfire, and that normally does it for me. Like, and as for my knife, I don't really maintain it a lot. I give it the odd blast on a sharpened steel with and a bit of a strop and that, but not serious. Never mess around with any like linseed oil or anything like that with my tools, just because I don't really have the time to play with them.
Yeah, probably it's worth, especially with carbon knife.
Sorry, no one knows anybody's talking now.
Can just hear but can't make out what's being said.
Yeah, the volume's really low, so it doesn't feel like it
Ferg
normally
said
comes
something
through.
about turn up the volume on the OS, but I don't know what he means.
I know exactly what he means, and it's everything's up as high as it goes. Hang on.
It's not individuals, is it? It's like the people. Is it us?
No, everything should be. What?
And I'm watching now and I've got it on loudspeaker and I can't hear. It's so low, it's like a whisper.
Right on thinking so problematic.
Yeah, starting to pain in the arse.
See, I've been saying this for years.
Yeah.
Right. Tell you what, guys. Do you reckon we should just stop this now and just nip onto Hangouts? It's gonna be the easiest way. It's gonna be the easiest way because I keep getting.
Right, did it? Right.
Yeah, I'll send the links and that back out. Does someone want to?
Oh, the volume's back up now.
What? Yeah, but is that just my volume or?
Yeah, it's just your volume.
Oh, hang on a minute. Hang on. I'm just trying something that I'm just looking at Fergus's things. Hang on. Right. I'm just looking at all of these. I'm just trying to have a look at these settings just to see if these settings are.
Did you turn down the Skype volume on your sound panel?
You know last week, Matt, when you messed about with the what was it? Where was it? Hang on. The mixer, the recording devices. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Recording devices. Really microphone, would it?
No, because what you know what though, me and Fergus had this all sorted.
And then the test it went well. So why is it screwing up now?
It's because Skype's inconsistent.
It might be. Is it a bandwidth thing or not? I don't know.
I don't know.
It's like it's too much that can go wrong.
It's just getting to be a right pain in the arse.
It's fabulous when it works, but it's just, when it doesn't work.
I mean, the volumes, sounds alright now, like.
Yeah, but is it all of us? Can you still hear all of us talking? Yeah.
I can when I'm watching the chat, I can hear you talking, but it's not as loud as it normally is.
Yeah, but no one else has said they can hear it, because that would be useful, wouldn't it?
Yeah, maybe.
Some could hear it and some couldn't.
No, because you know what though, me and Fergus had this all sorted.
Oh, apparently I fixed it and it's done.
You know?
It's done. You fixed it. It's done. Sound. It's working now. Thanks for that.
Yay!
Can you get Ant back on? Because Ant disappeared.
Get a few comments in the side chat.
Oh, for God's sake.
Just as just to make sure everyone can, or at least we've got enough.
Yeah, so everyone's saying it's working now, so that's
Right.
good.
Yeah.
While everyone's saying it didn't click through,
It's I mean the volumes.
It's loud. It's loloud now.
what's
Cool.
my buzzing like?
No, it sounds good. Sounds good to me. But
Yeah, but is it all of us? Can you still hear?
Yeah. It seems all right now.
God for that.
Honestly, this has been... The last 2 weeks with this has been an absolute pain in the arse. And I haven't got a clue why.
No.
Oh, what's Ant doing?
He's probably waiting for the new link.
Yeah, probably. He's sitting there
waiting. So
Oh, anyway, should we just carry on regardless, and
yeah, that's it.
you call him and see if you can add him in later.
No.
Where was I talking about? I was talking about the different grinds, wasn't I?
Yeah.
Right, so you got convex grind, hollow grind, Scandi grind, full flat grind, and sword grind, sabre grind, bevel edge. So example of a bevel edge is something like that, whereas the whole knife, I don't know if you can see it end on, is kind of wedge shaped, but then you've got like a secondary bevel right at the end, which is your sharp side. So if you're sharpening that, you're only going to be sharpening little sharpening stone just on that face and follow that through. Whereas a Scandi grind, which is a Mora, pretty much, that's sharpened right the way down to a point. Now these are sharper, but you do have to, when you want to sharpen them, you do have to remove a lot more metal. So they do take longer to sharpen than something like that, where you haven't got to remove as much steel. Does that make sense? Yes, Bruce. And then you've got a convex, which is your typical axe head. Trying to see it in the camera, where it's slightly rounded, because that's a hell of a lot stronger, because you, instead of being all skinny, that's going to bend, but where you've got that extra meat there, not only does it help split the wood, it's also a lot stronger. And you can get bevel edge knives as well, but they are a pig to sharpen, but once they're sharpened they last long. So. Okay, different methods of sharpening.
Right.
Right, so we've got oil stones, which is a stone you put in oil. So put some oil on there, do your sharpening. And then you've also got wet stones or water stones, which you keep in water. See, all makes sense, doesn't it? Oh, shite. So the water stones are usually finer, and this one's about what is it? Yeah, it's about 1,000 grit, which is perfectly decent. So with a Scandi, you just roll it up till it knocks, and then just follow it through like that. Now some people sharpen tools themselves.
I think that depends on what material it's made from, though, doesn't it? If it's stainless.
Stainless is a harder steel, so it's harder to sharpen, but harder to blunt as well.
But it's away from you, isn't it? And in carbon it's towards you. I don't know why, but I think it's something to do with rolling the edges, I think.
And I'd always sharpen, pushing the sharp edge into the stone, if you get what I mean. You never drag it that way. Always sharpen towards it. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So you push it, and then you flip over and pull it back towards you, or you can change hands and push it that side. Doesn't really.
I've got a question, Bruce.
Yeah, go for it.
What's the purpose of each grind? Like, is there a specific purpose for each grind? Like, one grind cuts wood, one grind carves better than the other.
Yeah, well, convex grind is a very, very strong for battening, axe heads, things like that. Hollow grind.
So when you say stronger, does that mean there's less likely chance of the blade splitting, chipping, or snapping?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're not going to kink the blade because you've got a lot more metal here at the side, so it's a lot stronger. Whereas something like that, which is usually like Bowie knives and things like that.
Yeah.
More like a skinning type knife.
For fine thin work.
Yeah, fine thin work. Then you've got Scandi grind, which is fairly universal. Then you've got a full flat grind, which is an absolute pig to sharpen. So that's going to be something like scalpels or ridiculously sharp things. Usually very, very tiny blades. And then you've got the bevel at the edge, which is usually like most butchery knives are like that. Butchery knives, skinny knives, meat knives. A lot of chef's knives are like that as well.
Yeah, my chef knives. See, I've got another random question. This may not apply, but when in the chef's trade, we always say you should never sharpen another chef's knife because each chef, obviously,
very true.
puts it. So you could never accomplish the grind that I could accomplish on my knife, and likewise the other way around. So
you will. You'll be a slightly different angle, and then So like that. Yeah, so if a chef is sharpening that angle there at, say, 30 degrees or something, then you try and sharpen that at 31 degrees, you're going to be buggering his knife up.
That basically comes down to muscle memory and the way that muscle memory of that person holding that knife against the sharpness works.
Because his length of arm, length of stroke, length of the steel.
Especially with sharpening on a steel, because it's just your own instinct of keeping the angle, so you drag down towards the handle like that. But I can sharpen a knife like this with my eyes closed because I've just done it. So yeah.
What's the purpose of that one that you've just pointed there? The grind to that one.
What, this one?
What's the?
This is more like a butchery meat skinning. They're all fairly universal, but this one's a nice quick one to sharpen because you see the silver edge.
Yeah.
That's the only bit you've got to sharpen. So you've got to remove less material as you sharpen it, so it's faster to sharpen.
I mean, what I'm trying to get is like, that little thin one right at the end there. You wouldn't go batting wood with that, would you?
No.
See, each grind has its own specific use.
Yeah, but for universal, I would say Scandi grind's probably the most universal that you can do pretty much everything with because it's still pretty strong and it's still pretty sharp. So you can batten with a Scandi, you can carve with a Scandi, you can cut meat with a Scandi grind. So it's probably the most popular. So yeah.
And can you do stuff to your blade to prevent it rusting when out in the field?
Yeah, well, I always take a tub of fat with me, like lard or dripping.
Yeah.
But I saw an MCQ video when he took Zed out, and he took some Trex, which is vegetable fat, but it's exactly the same as lard or dripping. It's like light dripping. So I just filled this little pot, squash a load in there, microwave it, and then it all melts in there. But because it's vegetable based, it's not going to rot and go rancid like animal fat will.
Yeah.
But I take a little, move this crap out of the way. I take this little care kit with me.
Yeah.
So I've got a little mini strop for stropping the edges. We'll get to stropping in a minute. I've got some. These are like little abrasive pads, like scouring pads sort of thing. They're for polishing stainless steel. But if you get a bit of rust on, it'll clean rust off really, really well. There's a squashy sandpaper block and a scouring pad just for cleaning, and there's oil in this pot, and there's a lump of leather in the bottom as well for stropping on, in case I lose the little strop. But I always keep that little kit with me, so if when my knife gets sort of dirty and it's not going to go rusty, so I can give it a good clean up, then give it a wipe over with a bit of oil, and then stick it back in the sheath. Then it's not going to go rusty, especially in wet weather or if you're beach camping, because salt water is an absolute killer for carbon steel. It just mullers it.
So what's as a game prepper, Bruce? What's your personal favourite grind for game prep?
I would say the secondary bevel, the sword type, because that's what I'm used to sharpening in the butchers. So it's a bit quicker to sharpen. But I don't mind the Mora, but the Scandi grind. If you're cutting things like vegetables, as you cut it, it tends to shoot stuff apart.
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
Yeah,
you
I
try
know
and
what
cut
you mean.
a carrot, and you end up shooting carrots all around the campfire.
Yeah.
Whereas a normal knife will sort of drag through, and they stay where they are. It doesn't wedge everything apart. But especially Moras are pretty good, but some of the heavier bushcraft knives with a Scandi grind are pretty severe.
I do like a Mora for the price they are and the abuse they can take. I think they are brilliant. But
yeah.
I mean, I'm not. I do prep a lot of food in the woodland, and I've never really. I'm not a person that sits and carves stuff. So the only use I have for a knife is to open up packets or to cut a bit of paracord. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
There's not a lot of maintenance in my knives.
Yeah. Sorry, Mark?
That piece of flint you used at the chili fair was pretty effective.
Yeah. I was skinning a deer, and I had a Green Man knives. It was an absolutely gorgeous knife, razor sharp, and was skinning a deer with it, and it was the bollocks. But then I used a piece of flint, just a flake of flint that Will Lord had given them, and that was skinning really, really well, because flint is slightly serrated. So when you're cutting meat, very slightly serrated edge is really, really good, because it kind of tears through the meat and doesn't, it's not like a smooth cut that sort of digs in, because the way the tissue's made. Because with a butcher's steel, this is a diamond steel, but with a butcher's steel, it's usually a harder steel, but there's loads of ribs on it. So as you whacking your knife up and down, it makes the knife very slightly serrated. If you looked at it under a microscope, you get what I mean. But then if you was cutting wood, you would strop it right the way down and polish it all the way up, so it wasn't serrated at all. It would be a sharp cutting knife, just because you're cutting through a harder material.
There's Grizzly J's just said that he bought a Mora knife just to learn his sharpening skills. That's a really good idea, even if it's just a practice knife. You know what I mean? That you can blunt and then resharpen to practice.
Yeah, I've got one of these Halterfors. The Halterfors heavy duty. This one, and this is a good little knife to learn with and back the crap out of. It's a Scandi grind, and these are even cheaper than a Mora. These are about £4 or £5 off of Amazon.
Yeah, I learnt how to sharpen my chef's knife. When I was a trainee at about 14, 15 years old, my head chef gave me a blunt palette knife and says if I can put an edge on that with a steel, I can sharpen anything.
Yeah.
So you just had to keep on going at it until you got an edge on it, and that's the way it worked.
Yeah, just going on to the side chat, guys.
Yeah.
Richardson Knives says he finds sabre grinds work good for many tasks. Scandi grinds are good for wood. Hollow grinds are brilliant for hunters, and a chisel grind is good for kitchen knives.
What's a hollow grind?
That's that one.
It's
that one there.
The convex.
Right.
Yeah, where it's concave in there. It's like a Bowie knife is usually like that. There's like a Bowie knife, skinny knife.
Doesn't that make the blade really brittle though?
Well, it's not usually as severe as that. I haven't actually got that kind of knife here.
Let me go and grab one, Bruce.
There's some pen knives are like it as well, like the standard old mahogany handled lock knives. A lot of them are that sort of grind.
Wouldn't that be very fragile though, that blade?
No, it just depends how severe the hollow it was, because you think that steel is only what 3 mil thick, so you're only going from 3 mil down to say 1 mil. It's not. It's just the way it's machined, because there's a machine that scores that grinds that out, rather than machining against a flat sanding belt. So it's just the tooling that's used.
Yeah.
If you get what I mean.
Yeah. This is just another random. This is still on the same subject of tools, but as in a little bit safety. What's your opinion on lanyards? Because when I first bought my knife, I got a lanyard on it. My saw had a lanyard on it. My axe had a lanyard on it. And now I had a little issue with my axe. I was using it in the field, and I'd obviously have I wouldn't use the lanyard when I was just walking with it, and the lanyard would hook onto stuff, and it would just pull the saw out of my hand and cut into it. Same with my saw and my axe. It's like it just, if you're walking with your axe and your lanyard catches on somewhere, it's dragging that blade down you. So I cut all the lanyards off of everything, just because I find them more of a hassle than a use to me.
Yeah, I think a lanyard on something like a machete is fairly necessary. Because you don't want that slipping out your hand, especially when you're cutting through foliage. Your hands are gonna get wet from like water on the leaves and stuff. So yeah, I'd have a lanyard on a machete.
But then if you're gripping it, if you're holding it and gripping it, and that machete's fitting your hand, then you shouldn't need one.
Yeah, but it's just, in the wet. If you're cutting through, just foliage, you're going to be spraying water and mulch and bits of leaves, and and so that could potentially slip out your hand. But if you're doing like an axe, I wouldn't have a lanyard on an axe. The only thing I would have a lanyard on is a Laplander. But I would take the leather lanyard off. And put a coloured paracord one on there.
Do you not notice every time you close your Laplander, your lanyard is always in the way?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, but the only reason I'd have a lanyard is because Laplanders are fucking green, and you put them down, and they're made of invisible. Good call. Huh? I just have a lanyard on there, so I
never put my Laplander down. It's always in my knee pocket. So
yeah. I'm making a pouch for a Laplander at the moment, like a leather pouch thing.
A lot of people bought leather pouches with their Laplanders. I never got one with mine. I feel slightly robbed.
Yeah.
I never got one with mine.
Yeah, that's the pouch. That's the pouch I'm doing. It's completely overworked.
Labour of love.
Yeah, because it's just practicing leather tooling. But
did you want to see one of them hollow grinds just quickly? Because I've got that buck thing here.
Yeah. Is that a hollow grind?
Strange piece because it's got. I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up. Hang on.
That's it. Yeah.
It's got a secondary bevel as well.
Ah, right. Yeah. Okay.
Hang on.
And that's got the rib breakers on it as well.
It has, yeah. On the back end now.
Yeah.
The camera don't really pick. It doesn't pick it up because, as someone said earlier on, that the curvature is very subtle. It's very, very subtle.
Yeah.
And this one's got a secondary grind as well, a secondary bevel on it as well. So
yeah,
it's quite a good knife. It's an absolute pig to sharpen.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Solid. Only this is 480. I suppose that's a reference to the stainless that it is.
Yeah, 480 stainless, yeah. Which is a pretty good grade of stainless. If it is that.
I think 480 is a food grade stainless.
Yeah. The only problem with Buck knives is they were really, really good knives in America. Then they thought, we'll save money and send them to China, and then that's where all the Chinese copies came from. So if you buy a Buck knife...
Yeah, Nicest Knife's done a thing about that as well. When they shipped the manufacturing out to China, and the quality just went through the floor.
You don't know whether you're getting mystery metal or a decent metal. And then they're saying that most knives, or most of the steel, comes from India and China now anyway. India, China and Russia. It's sort of the main steel producers, because we don't make steel anymore, so... everyone says about Chinese mystery metal, but they do some of the best steel in the world as well. It just depends what factory you go to.
Oh, there's an idea. I've never seen this one before. Dale Skidmore said in a side chat, even use your ferro rod to strop the blade.
Yeah, you can use the bottom of a cup as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
the bottom of a cup. Yeah, you can use a car window, but I wouldn't because you might pop the window.
I don't know if John's ever done this, but John, have you ever used the back end of a knife to put a little serration on your kitchen knives?
Say again, Mark.
Another knife to sharpen one knife?
No, I have a porcelain rod with a ribbed back end where I can score new bevels in my knife.
Nice.
I've done it before myself. If I'm in a rush, I'll put cooking Sunday dinner or something, and I can't get running to me still. I'll just use the back end of another knife. To work, all right. But then I'm not cooking with £600 knives.
My chef's knife set cost me £1,000.
Yeah, I've got a set of globals, but they're not used in the kitchen downstairs. That's
So
for sure.
what make knives have you got?
I've got a full 15-piece set of global diamond cut knives with a porcelain stainless steel. The carry case alone cost £175.
Yeah.
And when I was a trainee, I used to buy one every month with my pay until I had the full set, and then I started to use them, and they've been used now for 15 years, and they are still as sharp as the day I got them.
Yeah, they're awesome knives. The only problem I have with the global knives is because they're a full metal handle. They're really hygienic.
Are they leaving you with calluses in your soft little hands?
It's not that. It's when you're cutting cold stuff, like frozen stuff.
Yeah.
You get the conduction, and then the handle gets cold, and that'll give you arthritis. Whereas having a wooden handle,
I get a really bad calluses across my hands with the knives because I've been using them for so long.
Yeah.
And like if I've got to chop like 5 cases of peppers every day for 6 days, your hands are red raw. So what I do is I get a kitchen blue plaster, and I'll just stick that over my knife, and it'll just, a little bit of padding for your delicate fingers.
Yeah.
Woodland Camp and Craft in the side chat has just said, having backrow sold out now, he's been told that they've started using China for their blades and that they're poor quality.
Oh, that's a shame. That's a shame.
Yeah, backhoe have gone right downhill in recent years.
Mine before I got the backhoe Laplander, I had the Wolverine, and it cost me £6. I used it to build the village with, and I used it for about 2.5 years, and the only reason it broke was because I sat on it on the back of a car and broke the handle.
No.
It was £6, and it was called a Wolverine, and you can still buy them on eBay, and I swear by them. They're not a lock blade like the backhoe Laplander, but they still lock, but the switch is on the top instead of the side.
Yeah, that's the only thing I don't like. So I'll back up and see me mush. Hello. It's the only thing I don't like about a lot of saws where you got the button on the top, because if you're sort of doing intricate work, you hit that button and it's going to fold up on you, which really cheeses me off. And a lot of the cheap ones, they're like really hair trigger. You just touch them, they're gone. Whereas the Laplander is a very nice. You press the button to lock it. Press the button.
But then I've had, I think with this Laplander saw I've had for 1 year and 4 months, and I'm on the 3rd blade for it, because I've noticed the end of the blade gets so fine on the last set of teeth that it always kinks and it'll bend first.
Right.
And I've had that with 3 blades now, so it's not just coincidence, because if it happens to 1 blade or 2 blades, then that's sometimes your negligence. But if it happens to 3 when you're watching what you're doing, it's obviously a problem with the blade.
Yeah. So I'd like to have a go with the silky blades. The silky saws, they're supposed to be awesome, but I want to see...
Alan had one of those on our last camp, and it was absolutely amazing. Just a 300mm, and it went through stuff like a hot knife.
Yeah, well, I want to see one before I go out and spend the money on buying one.
They are really thin blades, though. They are so fragile.
Yeah.
If you just pinch it once, it will twang and snap.
Oh, really?
Alan actually snapped off the tip of one of his silkies when we was at camp.
See, I use my tools excessively, and if they break, like sometimes I just can't fix them, because the damage is just too severe.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you snap half a handle on a Laplander, you can't really use it to the extent as if you had a full handle, because you can't get that length on the blade, Yeah.
But then, the with cheap knives as well. You know,
Yeah.
a Mora's going to last you for bloody ages, and if you can't sharpen it, you buy a new one. I know it's horrible.
But even then, everybody in the world has got a local butcher, and all it takes is you walking up to your local butcher and say, "You're right, mate. I'll have 2 lamb chops, and could you put an edge on this for us?" You know what I mean?
Saying that some of the butchers I knew, they couldn't put an edge on anything. It's
No,
terrible.
well, there you go. Then there you go.
But, it's worth doing that. But then you also want to be careful of walking down the street with freaking knives. But yeah, as long as you've are taking it to and from somewhere to do something, you've got an excuse for carrying it. So
Mine's normally in the centre of my bag because I walk by a factory just to get out of the city, and there's always a police car sitting there.
yeah, it's not worth it.
No, it's not like.
Yeah, but you just say I have been camping, because the big problem with knives is people go camping, leave their rucksack in the back of the car, drive to work, and then you say, "Oh, I went camping the weekend. That's why I'm carrying a machete." No, sorry, that don't work.
But sometimes you just can't justify it when you're walking through town at 10 o'clock at night with a chainsaw on your hip, a food bag, a backpack with an axe, a knife. You know what I mean?
I don't think the police are going to bother approaching you if you're walking down the street with a chainsaw.
You say that, Bruce, about keeping stuff in the car. That has actually happened to Matt Tiny. I don't know if you remember that.
Yes, he did. He was doing a VR, wasn't he?
Yeah, he got propositioned by police.
Yeah.
And it all was, I think he just left a couple of things in his car that he just thought that would be alright, whatever.
Yeah.
What is he, in his early 40s, I suppose?
Yeah.
Yeah, late 30s, early 40s. Never been pulled over in his life for nothing, just sitting in the car park. They come over to him, and it just so happened that he had that stuff in the car, and they're it's like a Spanish Inquisition. Why have you got this? Why have you got that? Well, that's what I do. You know? I can see. I mean,
they were looking for illegal hunters because I think the policeman pulled up and saw a man in full camo standing in the back of the Land Rover having a cup of tea, and he's like, "Oh yeah, there's been a load of poaching. We best go and question him." But they were looking for firearms.
yeah.
Getting onto the subject of axes.
Yeah. Okay.
Just I think we've kind of talked a bit about knives.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I think you said you had an axe with you. Yes.
Might be Hans Ford.
Yeah. The only reason I bought this, I've never seen a Grandfather's Burke with a grain on it like that. If you look down the spine of that, it's perfect. Yeah. That's the only reason I bought.
What axe would you recommend?
The one you can afford, because at the end of the day, you're just hitting wood with it.
Yeah.
It really doesn't matter. Okay, yeah, it might hold an edge longer. The steel might be a bit. I would go for the cheapest hand forged axe you can buy, because hand forged tend to be harder and easier to sharpen and stuff. Whereas a lot of the factory made stuff is a bit of a pig to do. And a lot of the time they're like safety axes because they just come blunt. Shane bought one recently, and he said it's just like a spoon, which is more dangerous.
Had loads of troubles trying to sharpen the bloody thing.
They're blunt like that though, Bruce, because of where they're sold. They're generally sold in the cheap shit pound shops and big. Whenever anyone that looks over the age of 18 can go in and buy one with no identification. So they're generally sold. That's for a reason.
Yeah, but for the average person, what they're going to be doing with it, splitting dry logs.
Or taking their privilege down, you know.
Which would be fine if you're just smashing up a few logs in your back garden. Absolutely fine. If you're carving with it, it's going to have to be sharp.
Yeah,
but then if you
but who carves with an axe? I mean, you're not gonna carve a spoon with an axe, are you?
Oh,
yeah,
you can get 90% of the work.
This is a tiny little axe. This thing.
Yeah, but why would you? Why would you if you've got like a perfectly good knife there? You know what I mean?
What you do, you just hack out a rough shape.
Right.
It off with it, and then you finish it off with a knife.
You might
just save so much time.
About the billet because an axe will remove more material.
Yeah, I understand.
You're not too gung ho with it. You'll get more done with an axe in 10 minutes than what you ever will with a knife.
Oh, gotcha.
So your final work, your fine tuning, then comes with your knife.
Yeah, but
What axe is that, Bruce?
it's a little Gram 4 Burks. I can't think what the name of it. It's like a forest axe or something they called it.
How much did you pay for that?
A lot.
How much? Come on.
Well, online they are 75 quid. I've seen them for. I was in Woodland Ways, which is in Bedford. They've got a shop. They do courses and stuff as well. And I only went up there to buy a deer. They had a monkjack in the freezer, so I went up to buy a deer, and then I bought. Oh, there's a zebra billy can. I'll get one of them. And then I was chatting to the bloke about axes, and he says, "Oh yeah, I've got a couple here. I'm hiding at the back because they've just got the most amazing grain I've ever seen." He said, "Look at that." I went, "That's fucking awesome. Can I buy it?" And I think it was 63 quid.
Nice.
Which is expensive, but it's cheap for what it is. And it's a total one-off.
It's a toy as well, isn't it? Let's face it.
It's a toy. Yeah, exactly.
But wasn't it Fergs that actually got a one as a secret Santa, Grand Force Brooks, or was it Wetlands? He said it was just about blunt when he got it, and it hadn't really been used either.
Yeah,
which is a bit strange because Wetlands and
the weird thing is with Grand Force as well. If you look on them, on the head there's a little stamp, and that's the maker's mark. So you actually know who made that particular axe head, because they've all got their own different little nuances and stuff. And if you was a real swap, you could search through a load of axes and find the maker that you wanted, which is really sad. But and another one I've seen, steel chainsaws.
Yes.
I was in a hire shop and I saw a load of axes hanging out. Oh, hello. And the steel hand-forged axes, they look awesome. They're really nice. They've got a really sort of nice sort of Viking head to them.
Is that spelled STIHL?
Yeah, something like that.
I think it's the 1945 patent axe, isn't it?
That's it. Yeah.
They're really awesome. Nice. Them really nice.
They look really cool. But that's probably the next one on the list.
Did you see that? Did you ever see that one that was either an American or a Canadian guy recently come up with, where the axe head's kind of like sideways?
Yeah, because it rotates as you hit.
Yeah, that's right. It hits the wood and then it just like flips and it just splits the wood.
Yeah, because the weight is counterbalanced to one side, so as it hits, it rotates and splits the wood. Yeah, clever. Very clever.
Yeah, I like the idea of that. I thought, but what other uses has it got apart from just doing that? Is that literally specific axe just for splitting wood? Because you ain't going to cut a tree down with it, are you?
No. But if you're splitting like a few yard of wood, a fair, like for winter.
Yeah.
I've seen one where they wrap a chain around a great big log. And every time they hit it splits it, but the chain retains it, so it retains its shape. And it basically takes the whole thing apart like a pizza. Removes the chain, it just falls apart.
Yeah. Or you can stand it all in a tyre, that works as well.
Yeah, actually, I've seen it.
A load of logs in a tyre, that works quite well. Because then if you hit the tyre with the axe, it's not going to damage it.
Yeah, if you winter drawing in, we don't know, our winters don't draw in next week, but in Canada, especially in Canada, in the Midwest, you can, your winters can blow in within.
Yeah. Well, Rain Dance Bushcraft Jesse. I think on Facebook, there was 1 minute he was standing out in his front garden in a t-shirt saying, "My God, I can't believe this is December." And then a week later, he's standing there. There's snow everywhere. Going, "Okay, snow's here now. That's it. Game over till about March." Yeah, really strange.
I don't want none of these piddly 6 inches of snow. I want 6 foot of bar. If it's going to happen, I want to build an igloo. That's what I want to do.
I want to build an igloo. That would be epic.
John, you build a 3-story bloody igloo.
I would do it. I would. I'd dig a hole so that I had a basement and then put 2 stories on top of that.
But actually, lighting a fire inside an igloo is how they seal the bloody thing, isn't it? They
melt it and
melt the surface ice, and then let it cool, and it freezes again, and then they can do what they like.
Or we could just take the hose pipe to it. If you get a couple of pans of water from the river and just chuck it on it, it's gonna seal it. Same job.
I used to like doing that outside the bingo hole. Just chuck a couple of buckets of water outside.
Yeah. And then hand out claims direct cards.
Yeah. Well, I actually used to work for him, so it was a pay on commission job. So
my axe is a Condor. It cost me £38 3 years ago, and it came blunt, but I put my own edge on it, and it's the only axe I've ever had, and the best axe I've ever had. Really, I've never really needed to look.
Put an edge on it, then, John.
I used a rough steel file, then I went down to sandpaper, then I went to my chef's sharpening steel for my cooking knives, the porcelain one, and then I finished it off on the strop. And it's an amazing axe. It cut through Tim's hand, it cut through my finger. It's been through everything there is to go through, like.
Oh my god.
yeah, so the best axe in the world is the axe you've got with you.
Yeah, well that's it.
Yeah, exactly that.
I mean, I think I've used it. I used it because I split a lot of logs for my woodland camp, and even though I cut them with my chainsaw, I've got to split them with my hatchet, and I've been using that Condor for years. Like, it's had some abuse, and it's still good. Like,
Yeah, they're a good make, Condor.
Also, I'd say if you're looking to pick up a cheap axe, and don't write boot sales off, because obviously slave maintenance could also take in the guise of restoration, and you can
Oh,
pick
definitely, yeah.
really old hand forged. It's what you want, hand forged axe head.
Yeah.
And then obviously you're looking at rehandling it. I mean, I've got one downstairs that must be over 100 years old, and someone's pushed in a bit of a lead piping, well, not lead pipe, but metal pipe. But the axe head itself is beautiful. It's just what they've bodged the handle. So I'm going to have to drill that out and do an handle for it. But it's another project that I've said I'll do and not found time to do. But yeah, boot saws are a good source of decent axes.
Yeah.
You only need the axe head, and then you put into it what you want.
Yeah, just go to a hardwood shop and buy an axe head or buy one online. But yeah.
Generally, the people that are selling it don't actually know its intrinsic value. So you could probably pick up something that was worth like 10, 15, 30 quid. So
Oh yeah.
I mean, I was in Lidl a couple of months ago, and I seen an axe in there that they were selling in the summer for about 15, 20 quid or something, and then they had one go down to about 8 or 9 quid. I seriously considered it, but I wasn't sure if it was actually going to be any good.
Well, the steel that it's made from will probably be as soft as cheese, but I think you can definitely. It depends what you want to do with it. If you're splitting anything up to 4-inch logs, I mean, it's not a felling axe. They're forester's axes. If they're like sort of 13 inches long, it's just a forester's axe. It's like a companion axe for de-limbing trees and stuff.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to. It's more with them. It's more brute force and ignorance. You're just knocking that little twig off. And for splitting 4-inch logs, they'll do it all day long. Any axe will do that. Straight out of the cheap shop, you'll get one to do that.
Yeah.
Depends what you want.
Exactly, and if you're just going for a weekend, you'd sharpen it before you went. You'd split whatever you're going to do, because you're not going to be doing masses, and sharpen it when you get home. You don't really have to worry about sharpening it in the field.
That's what I do. I just do mine once a year. I've got one day a year to maintain.
It's only going to go blunt as much as you use it.
Well, that's it.
Yeah.
I think also, if I wear this, how sharp is it, how good is it? A lot of people watch YouTube videos, and there's knife makers out there and axe specialists out there that they could take a shave with their axe that would give them a closer shave than a bloody Gillette Mach 3. And it's not what you need an axe for. It's a lot of what an axe does is brute force and ignorance.
Yeah, it's a splitting wedge.
It's got to have an edge to it, but you're not going to be shaving with it, for crying out loud. I think people think, oh yeah, it's got to be the sharpest thing in the world. I want it to be like a samurai sword.
Yeah, that's excessive. As long as it cuts a log sufficiently, then that's all that matters.
Yeah, same with meat cleavers as well. If you get a meat cleaver too sharp, it's going to stick in the block.
Yeah, I've had that a lot.
The block.
I've went over the.
Yeah, I think the only thing you want from an axe is that you want it to be sharp enough to bite what you're eating. It has to bite what you're eating. You don't
want it to bounce off.
Because that then becomes dangerous. That's when you graze off and start going into shins and sorts of stuff.
Then John came up with a good point about using your axe as a hammer. using the back of your axe as a hammer. So then,
But you don't cut your ear off, people.
yeah,
Watch you don't cut your ear
you've got
off.
an axe coming towards your face, and the amount of times I've seen bushcraft videos where people are banging in tent pegs with their hammer, thinking, I'm clever."
Really? I've never seen anybody. Really?
Yeah, I've seen people banging tent pegs in with an axe, and you're like,
I've seen them do it with an axe and a hatchet as well. Yeah.
"Yeah,
Don't
why would you do
tent
that?"
peg. I've never ever been in a place where I've had to hammer a tent peg into the ground. They just push
Exactly.
in. They push in.
You've never been-
Or you just get a little bit of log and bop it in with that.
Yeah,
never
yeah.
get
Foot on it and push it in. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
To be fair, Carlisle,
I've never
though,
seen that.
where you go camping, it's all sinking now anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I still used. Do you know something? I've actually seriously found how hard it is to get tent pegs into a stony surface. So what I've found do now is I sharpen up a massive pitch spike out of just a random pole, and I just go around randomly stabbing the ground, and wherever I find a soft patch, that's where I put my tent pegs in.
yeah, I do. It works,
You've got a
doesn't it?
600-foot guy ride.
Yeah.
Well, normally,
What's at Woodside?
because I'm on the floodplains and I'm quite high up. I'm normally, I'm clipping my guidelines around other trees anyways, so they're never really in the ground.
Yeah, I remember seeing a video on there was a guy who was beach camping. So I did a beach camp this year, and I was wondering how I'm going to bang the pegs in. But what he did was took his boots off, dug a hole, tied the guy rope on, and just buried them.
Yeah.
Just like burying anchors, and I think he had
Yeah,
like
fair play.
Yeah, you do that.
pair of flip flops, a bag, all sorts of crap.
I
The
did
other one with
that. I
that,
did.
take plastic bags with you, or
Yeah, fill them with
sand and
stones.
bury them fuckers, yeah.
I tied a stone, like you would a parcel, around my guideline and just dropped it where I wanted it.
Yeah,
Yeah, that worked. Yeah. So what other maintenance have we got? Pots and pans. How do you clean your pots and pans out in the wild?
I use wire wool in the river, and if it's like something that's really on there, like I don't know what, like pie that you've dropped in an oven by accident, when your oven just rolls right off your fire and your pie mangles inside, I would probably just use moss, the river water, and then just get my old wire wool out there, like, because the wire wool just shreds anything off.
It'll just wear away eventually. What's that, like Brillo pad or?
Well, no, it's actually copper wool. It's I use a big wad of industrial copper wool.
Well, you can start, because that takes a spark. Start a fire with it as well, so it's not.
Yeah, if you get a 9-volt battery and put it on a bit of wire, will catch fire.
It takes a spark from a ferro rod, I know.
Yeah.
It's pretty old stuff.
But no, it's good, like it.
Good idea, that, though.
It strips it off, like.
Yeah. But for when you get home, I got one of those oven cleaning kits where you take all your shells out your oven, put them in a big plastic bag, pour this gunk in, leave it 6 hours, and then just rinse them off, and that works really well.
I'm just going to send you 3 years of camp ovens to do, Bruce.
But it's a big bag, and you get a shitload in it. But I had a big oven like one of yours, frying pan, zebra can, grills, and all sorts of shit.
See, I've lost my frying pan. I had a really good stainless steel frying pan, and I cannot think of me which camp I've left it at.
I've got a cast iron skillet.
It's about a year since I've seen it.
Now, someone's probably nicked it.
No, it'll still be there somewhere. It'll still be there somewhere.
Right, well, we're getting to the end of the chat, guys. I wonder if anyone's got any questions in the side chat.
Just Bearded Clam was doing a giveaway this week with the MTFU. Unfortunately, he's got man flu at the moment, so he'll probably do the giveaway next week. To everyone who commented on MTFU in the MTFU group, there was a post there, and if you comment on there, I think it was about what subjects you want the chat to be on. If you comment in there, you'll be added to the draw.
Yeah, I think I've just getting a message off him as well saying that his internet was pants as well, so he couldn't even get on tonight.
Oh, poor little baby.
Does his beard naturally grow purple, or does he dye it?
No, it's natural. It's totally natural. Yeah.
See, that's what I thought.
Yeah. It's because he's a rock god.
Oh, right.
So yeah, anyone got any questions in the side chat? anything that they want to mention or anything like that? Probably not, because
Any questions for Ant-Man Stuff TV?
Does anybody, just on maintenance, this is a complete different kit, not tools, like, I'm having a serious situation with batteries at the moment because I seem to be charging the new ones up, but I think it's either the coldness or the dampness to just losing the charge so fast.
It'll be the cold, John.
If they're lithium ion there, they are so temperamental to temperature change.
Well, it's the LiPo ones. LiPo ones are shit.
Can you not, like, see, I imaginated in my head that if I heated the battery up a bit, it would work better.
I wouldn't.
No, that doesn't work, people. That doesn't work, so don't try it.
You want to insulate your batteries, John? Keep them in an insulated case.
You know what good thing to do? Take a pair of thermal socks and put your batteries in a pair of thermal socks.
See, I keep them in a waxed. I'll keep them in a waxed dry sack, and I just.
Dry sack. It keeps it dry, but it doesn't keep it warm. It's not insulated.
You want to keep them at room temperature if you can.
Well, keep them on you. Keep them on like an inside pocket so they stay warm.
Yeah.
And sleep with them.
See that this, I do sleep with most of my electronics anyways, but it's like the solar cells and all that seem to be fine. It just seems to be my batteries for my head torch.
Right. What, just normal AA batteries?
No, they're them 1850 jobby things. You know,
18650 lithium ions. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Are they lithium ion or are they LiPo?
No, they're lithium.
Lithium ion. It's shocking in temperatures.
Yeah.
Extreme temperatures, even hot drains them as well, but don't heat them up for fuck's sake. They're so volatile.
I've been working on building sites, and we've got a laser for levelling stuff, just it spins round and gives you a laser mark round, and that doesn't work in cold weather. So you have to take the batteries out, put them in your pocket, just to warm them up with a bit of body temperature, and they'll work fine.
I tried to boil 2 batteries in a Crusader cup.
Good man.
Here's a question. No, go on, carry on, Bruce.
If what you do, if you fill the cup up to just under the height of the battery and stand it in there with a positive sitting up, then they're not going to short out in the water.
Ah, that's what happened.
You get what I mean?
Yeah, I understand.
So you just stand it up, like even in a cup of tea. I've done it on site. Just get 3 batteries and stand them in hot water or a cup of tea or something, just to warm them up, and then they'll start going again.
See, I could maybe sit them on a hot water bottle or something.
Yeah.
If you put them in a pair of thermal socks before you burn down for the night, it will stop them getting too cold anyway, because it's and then you put them under the sleep, mate.
Yeah, neoprene bag. That's what Grizzly J just said.
I've got neoprene socks. I could put it in one of them.
Yeah,
I could put it in one of them, Yeah.
Woodland Camping Crafts just asked what's best to clean millbank bags.
Nothing. I don't clean them, do you? Are you supposed to clean it?
They do go mouldy, but the best thing to do is just take it home, chuck it in the washing machine. Because a millbank bag, the more you use it, the more the fibres break up, and the more fluffy it gets, and the better it gets. Yeah. So the more abuse you can give it a damn good scrub or throw it in the washing machine. But once you've sieved them, they do go mouldy, and they get all that black spot on them.
That's a brilliant answer. I didn't even know what a millbank bag was.
It's like a very tight canvas. It's like a sock. Right. You fill it up with moss and sand and crap, and then you pour dirty water in, and it sieves it.
Oh.
Yeah, you can put.
I'll send you a picture of one, John. I've got one downstairs.
I've got one somewhere, but there's one in my video somewhere, and it does work really well because I had some dirty water, and it was like the tannins had leached out of the leaves. You know, when the water, when puddles go sort of orangey coloured.
Yeah.
And I sieved that, and it actually took the colour out as well, which I was well amazed at. I didn't think that
colour as well.
Yeah, it came out. It was still like a tinge, but it was a lot clearer.
It's a filtration bag for water.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about a fucking rucksack, man.
No.
I'm searching a millband bag on fucking Google, man. It's filtration.
Yeah, it's a water filtration bag, yeah. But if you get wet,
a bottle that goes with it as well, isn't there? But it's not a good idea to use it because it cross contamination.
Yeah.
Do you remember what Matt was telling us, that there is a bottle that goes with it, but no one ever used it because anything you collected from a river and then pull it through. You push it in, and then take it back out, put it at the bottom. Anything that's on the outside, is it? No.
Oh, was that Life Adventure bottle?
Yeah, that's
Lifesaver.
a bad idea. You don't want to be doing that because.
Yeah, and the thing is that they've recently gone bust, haven't they? Because they had the problem that they didn't sieve like certain viruses.
Oh man,
But-
I bought one of them lifesaver bottles, but I lost it in the river.
Yeah, they're good. And if you still got one, still bloody use it because
Aye,
it's
too late.
it's probably as safe as tap water because it doesn't.
It's just a bunch of idiots using it and giving themselves dysentery or something.
Thing is, you
Yeah.
can still get stuff like that out of tap water if you've got a dodgy line. It's
Exactly.
not foolproof. Nothing's foolproof.
But then, tap water's got, chlorine and fluoride and all that crap in it. So, if you just made a weak, put a fraction of a blooming bleach tablet in, whatever you blooming call them, water purifying tablet, it's just going to be as safe.
See, I've never ever had a
Cleaner
problem.
than bottled water these days as well, isn't it?
Aye, bottled
Yeah.
water. I've noticed a lot of bottled water when you're reducing it and that you seem to be getting a lot of mildew from it at the moment, which is quite gross. But I mean,
Well,
I've
British
never.
standards for tap water is actually a lot cleaner than the European standards for bottled water.
That's when you always go on holiday. They tell you not to drink the water.
Yeah, I
With
did that
with,
once in Egypt.
Yeah, but where you're up in Scotland, John, your water's a hell of a lot bloody cleaner because down here we've got a lot of farming, so you've got in cow poo that's going in the river,
Yeah.
you've pesticides and all sort of nasties. But probably the worst one to worry about is E. coli.
Yeah,
E. coli is probably the most dangerous bug that's going to make you ill outside, and it'll make you very ill because E. coli is bacteria that's evolved to live in a cow's stomach. Now, cows have got more than one stomach, so they have to live through all the stomachs and then through the gut, and then they can survive that. Well, a human's only got one stomach, so there's no way the acid in our stomach can kill E. coli. So you need a lot less E. coli to eat to make you ill. If you get what I mean?
yeah. See, I've never ever had I mean, I've been drinking that river water for 15 years, and I've never had a problem with it. I mean, I boil it, I'll filter it, I'll use chlorine, or I'll use water purification tablets, and if it's muddy, I'll filter it through a cotton bandana, and I've done it that way for years now and never had a problem.
Yeah.
The only other one is like Legionnaires, but you'd only have to worry about it in a built-up area. Because that's
Yeah, Legionnaires is.
stagnant and
Standard
Or
water.
if you
It's like
drop
air
off
conditioning
country.
units.
it's nothing you'd have to worry about in the woods. Not unless you're drinking fox piss.
No. And typhoid and things like that from stagnant water. But just check your water sources and boil the crap out of it.
Right.
I'd only ever take water that flows or rains.
Fast flowing water, me like.
Yeah, it pisses down enough here in the way, so.
Well, most of my water comes from the Lake District Mountains, anyways, which is either melted snow, ice, or just rain. So,
Probably purer than what comes out your taps.
well, that's it, mate. That's it.
Yeah, probably.
Right.
Well, you think a lot of water you drink is from a tank in your loft that's been sitting there for months.
Well, that was when that was before combi boilers, weren't it? When you had sort of storage heaters and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Anyway,
yeah.
I think we're over time now, aren't we, Matt?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, we've just gone over. It's only about 10 minutes, so
It's not that bad, though, because we started late.
yeah, it's not
So
too
it's-
bad.
it's
Matt
evened
bollocked
up.
Just I've gone over just with the problems that we had as well. So so I don't know what I think we're just going to have a look at the stuff that's been put on for Clams giveaway to see what we're going to talk about next week.
Yeah, why not?
I think that'll be the easiest way.
Yeah.
And I think that'll be it for tonight, guys.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, well, it's anyone else got in the side chat got any ideas for the chat next week? Anything you'd like to see covered?
I still think we should talk about lynx being reintroduced into British woodland.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
that you said earlier. That sounds
Yeah.
mad.
It's all over the news. They're starting it this year, and thanks to Phil, he's just pointed out that the first ones are going to be put in Cumbria, which is 1 male and 3 females.
Yeah, there's going to be some in Northumberland as well.
But lynx
Yeah.
ain't that big, are they?
Yeah, but it's not about that. If you've got a mother walking out their Sunday walk after their dinner in the woodlands, and they've got 2 kids. You know what I mean? I'm not bothered about me camping, because if someone came up to me, I'd pull its head off with my bare hands. But if you know what I mean, if you've got children walking out and you've got a lynx that's hungry or something, man, it's going to attack a small child.
It's going to be the population ways of it first, really.
Yeah, and you know what I mean. Even in America, you get foxes and bears coming into housing areas for the bins and all that. So there's no saying it's not going to happen in rural areas.
Yeah, I think lynx are very, very timid as well. They'll probably see you.
Yeah, but that's what I said to you earlier on, John, wasn't it? Some bastard will feed it, then they'll get tamed, and then they'll start approaching people, and they've got tempers on them. They've been talking about this for years.
Well, it's like a dog, isn't it? A dog can turn on its own in a snap of her fingers.
Yeah, but then on the flip side, have you seen? There's a video called "How Wolves Changed the Course of a River." Have you seen that?
No.
Okay, and I think it was Yellowstone Park. They reintroduced wolves, right? And then the deer, because they had a big problem with deer, the deer started acting differently. So they all started hiding in the woods and stayed off the grassy plains. So the grassy plains started growing more trees. Because there was more trees, there was more beavers, more birds, and a whole different ecosystem.
Wasn't it the root system from the plants that were growing was stabilised?
And then the root system strengthened the riverbed to stop the bank eroding, and it changed the course of the river just by introducing a pack of like 8 wolves.
Epic.
Yeah.
And
So you think if you just introduce a few links?
Red Owl Bushcrafts just asked, what's the best tarp colours?
Olive. No, I mean not olive. Coyote tan.
Yeah,
I think it's dependent what season you're in. I think summer should be
What
green.
season and where you are.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you're like me, I camp all year round, so I mainly use green for grassy areas.
Isn't really the kind of green that we have in the UK.
Just buy all of them.
Yeah.
Solves the problem.
Yeah, buy them all. Buy every single one.
I've got them all.
Actually, no, the DD Superlight Sunset Yellow, that's a very subtle.
No, see that's tarp.
Camping on the sun, it's great. Yeah.
No one should ever own a yellow tarp. Phil owns a yellow tarp, doesn't he?
No, he sold it, I think.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he was too embarrassed. It was even too gay for him.
Can I make a suggestion for the chat for one of the weeks?
Yeah.
Hammock camping, ins and outs of.
Ins and outs of hammocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll have to get John on for that one. He's the man.
Because I'm new to hammock camping. I'd like tips and stuff like that, and best ways to set them up, and that kind of stuff. So,
Awesome, guys.
You might be preaching to the choir with our demographic. You might be preaching to the choir because I've been now.
Yeah, but
I think when it comes to hammock camping, I think it's each to their own. The best way to learn is by doing it.
Yeah.
But then there's something simple like saying, John, what do you think of whoopee slings?
I fucking hate whoopee slings. Don't talk to me about whoopee slings. They're a waste of time and effort, and if you're too lazy to tie a bit of rope around a tree, then buy whoopee slings.
Yeah, so there you go. You just saved yourself this thing.
But the thing is though, John, you'd have a really hard time arguing that point of view, because the amount that you get out, you should be the biggest advocate for whoopee slings. If it's do you know what I mean? The amount of times you get out and have to set them up.
Why would you spend £15 on something that you get rope with the hammock when you buy it? What's the point in adding whoopee slings? That's a £15. Why? Why would you do that?
I think that's another one, each to their own, though, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Each to their own.
Because I've got whoopee slings, but I quite
lazy
like
bastard.
I've got it set I go to the same place, so it's all set. So it literally takes us about 5 minutes to put up.
Yeah, I'm proud enough to say that I could beat any whoopee sling setup with my setup. Yeah, in time. I'm willing to do that. No bother.
Yeah, John's like one of them kids with a cut. They do the cut stacking. Like a little Chinese kid with the advocacy.
I just see no purpose in adding an extra £15 to your hammock when you get enough cordage with the hammock. Unless you're like 25 to 30 stone, then buy some thicker rope, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think the only advantage is they're slightly lighter.
Yeah, well, my hammock didn't even come with the ropes on it. It came with whoopee slings, so that's why.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Oh, then fair play. Then I'll let you go.
That's why I
I think
use-
what though, I just heard John say that you get enough cordage. I'll call bullshit on that right now, John. There's no way you've got
What?
enough.
Oh no, I've never got enough cordage.
Never have enough. If
Never.
you take on a roller drum of cordage, you'd still want more.
See, right, I will warn everybody now. If anybody ever gets to go camping with me, don't bring cordage because I will rob your cordage.
Yeah, he does. He's still
Yeah,
this
yeah.
thing.
I will rob your cordage because that's how I get down.
Right. Right, I think that's
Awesome,
pretty
guys.
much
Thanks
it
for coming on.
tonight, so we'll say goodbye to the side panel.
Bye-bye, side panel.
Bye, side panel.
Bye.
And that's it for this week. Join us next week, and
Yeah.
we'll chat some more. All right,
Did everyone
guys?
notice the advertisement down the bottom for MP Knives and Twisted Hazel Gifts, sponsored by?
Yep. So if we've got anyone in the side chat who wants the logo, if you go onto the MTFU and find either me or Fergs and send it to one of us, and we'll get you on the logos as well. But that's it. Right. Thanks, guys, and see